So, welcome everyone to the NPTEL course on Food Science and Technology. This course is instructed by Professor H.N. Mishra sir, who is professor in the Department of Agriculture and Food Engineering, IIT Kharagpur, and I am Shikha Sharma, and I am a research scholar in the Department of Chemical Engineering, IIT Guwahati. So, this live interaction session is for week 11, and the assignment deadline for week 11 is 8th. So, please submit on time. Okay, so this is basically the module 11. So in module 11, we'll be discussing about food, manufacturing and industry 4.0. And it includes topics such as concepts in food manufacturing, good manufacturing practices and food industry 4.0. Then Internet of Things for real-time data collection and analyzing. And after that, AI and ML application in food industry, and then predictive maintenance. After that, process control, instrumentation and sensors. The last topic is about automation and robotics. And this week includes lecture 51 to 55. So lecture 51 includes concepts in food manufacturing and industry 4.0. In lecture 52, it's about AI and ML application in food processing, and 53 is about advanced instrumentation and sensors. Lecture 54 is about process control and automation, and lecture 55, which is the last one, is about robotics and future trends in food manufacturing. So I hope you have all gone through this 5 lecture videos. So let's discuss some of the concept-based questions which are regarding these 5 lecture videos. So mostly our discussion will be conceptual today. And if you have any doubt, please feel free to ask. Okay, let's begin with the first question for today's class, which is about, so we have one assertion given that IoT technology in food manufacturing enables real-time monitoring of production process, and reason is IoT connects devices and the sensors across production line to collect and analyze data continuously. So let's discuss which option is correct here. So here option A is correct. Okay. So here option A is correct basically, which is both the assertion is true and the reason is also true, and our reason is a correct explanation of assertion. So Internet of Things IoT, which is basically it basically refers to the network of interconnected devices and basically the sensors that collect, share, and analyze data in real time. So this IoT technology in food manufacturing, it indeed enables real-time manufacturing of production processes. So by integrating IoT devices, it includes like the sensors and also the controllers, they'll be put together, they'll be integrated, and then uh, they'll be put into the across the production line, and the parameters like the temperature, pressure, humidity, and equipment efficiency can be monitored in the real time with the help of this technology. So this capability basically increases the efficiency and reduce the downtime, and it enhances the product quality. So when we have this uh, IoT, which is having the sensors and both the controllers together in the production line, so it enhances basically the product quality because it's continuously in the real time measures all the parameters like the temperature, pressure, humidity, or the other defects, and it tries to maintain the product quality and the safety, and it ensures the compliances with the safety standards. that the product should meet the quality parameters and it should meet the standards, the safety standards. So IoT architecture is generally formed of around 3 to 5 layers. So in IoT, it is around like 3 to 5 layers, like which includes these 5 layers depending upon the classification used. So these layers are can be basically the sensing layer, then networking layer, service layer, and interface layers. So basically, this IoT, when it is applied in the food supply chain, it can help in the maintenance of the communication protocol, like all the details of the product can be put into the it can be put into like in the form of some QR code or some barcode, and it can be scanned, and we can see on the web or on the cloud what is the information regarding that particular food product. Or we can even check the batch number, the lot number from this kind of technology. Then it can also help in supply chain characteristics, like the product, which type of the product is there, and which kind of supply chain uh, we are taking. Like some products needs refrigerated kind of uh, supply chain, and some needs normal supply chain. Also we can track the product where it is in the supply chain. So this all is possible because we are applying IoT in the food supply chain. Also, the sensors are there which will going to basically check all the temperature, humidity, or the gases, like what is the amount of the oxygen while processing, and what is the amount of the nitrogen or any inert gas in the packet food product. Also, the light intensities can also be measured, and all these data will be collected and stored in the cloud, which can be communicated to the customers, and also the product can be tracked, and it can be uh, checked with the help of this IoT by the consumers. Also, like this IoT is when it is applied in, like it can be applied in different other applications in the food processing, like when for the precision farming, like what kind of, like we can check the soil, and based on the sample we can check what is the amount of the carbon, nitrogen is there in the, or the other minerals there in the soil, and with the help of that we can understand, okay, what needs to be added to the soil. So we can do precision farming with this help, with the help of IoT. Then crops can be monitored in real time continuously by taking the images and analyzing the images, and diseases can be detected, and also the solutions of that can also be, like we can put the photo, and it will tell with the help of the uh, image or whatever data we are putting. So that will go with the in the artificial intelligence, and we can understand, it will give some output, and we can understand what input we should give to our crop. Then in the food traceability also it will help, like the from scanning the QR code or barcode we can understand, okay, this product is from this batch. So we can basically see all the details, what are the different quality or parameters of this, or of that particular food product, or maybe the proximate analysis, we can see how much fat is there, how much sugar is there in that particular lot. Then automated harvesting. So with the help of the robots, this can be possible with the that or different kind of the automatic systems. It can help, it can human for the farming process. Then smart irrigation system. So uh, basically what happens, it can uh, check the soil, and the sensors can check the soil and can understand, okay, how much water we need to put, and based on that, the water will be irrigated, or the crops will be irrigated based on that. This way, both the water and can be protected, and crops can also be protected. So it is very useful technology, and it comes into the generally 3 to 5 layers. First is the sensing layer. So in this we need hardware, or the sensors we need. Then it is connected to the networks, where these sensors will transfer their data. Then service layer. So it creates and manages the services. So the data will be somewhere stored and somewhere processed, and then interface layer, in which it allows basically the interaction of the users and the other application. That is the interface which is in front of us. That is the interface layer. So it has basically the different layers. Sensing layer, in which different sensors are there, like microcontrollers, GPS system, or temperature or humidity control, which basically going to sense some changes and creates the electrical signal in the food supply chain. Then the communication layer, which will going to communicate like with the help of maybe Wi-Fi or the Bluetooth, that these data, whichever is collected by the sensors, it will going to be transmitted to the clouds or the servers through these protocols. Then storage layer. So in this, whatever data we have collected, it will be sent from the sensing layer. So it will be transferred like with the help of cloud, data center, big data, USB, like that. And then finally application and the control layer, in which all the uh, these systems like computer or the smartphone are included, in which what happens, it basically observes the status and analytics through application and software. So these are the 4 layers of the IoT. So the application of IoT in food manufacturing and supply chain, if we see, it helps in real-time monitoring or the sensing of the temperature, humidity, and the quality throughout the food production process. And then it helps in predictive maintenance, which means that IoT devices monitors basically equipment health, reduce the downtime by predicting the maintenance need. It also helps, as we discussed, in the supply chain transparency, because it enhances the traceability of the food product. So it allows tracking of the food product from farm to fork. Then it helps in automation and increasing the efficiency. So the smart devices which we are adding, it will automate the repetitive tasks. So the laborious tasks will be given to the machines or the robots, and it improves basically the productivity and reduce the waste. Then it also enhances the food safety, which means that all the data which will be collected, it will be checked in with comparison to the standards, which are safety standards given from the government bodies, which will be regularly checked, and the product will be regularly checked in that way. So this IoT basically is the technology which is basically used in the food manufacturing, where it basically takes the real time data or monitor the production process, like that. So it is true. And also the IoT connects devices and the sensors in the production line, and it will take the data and analyze the data continuously. So the assertion and reason both are true, and reason is basically the correct explanation of the assertion. Okay, let's discuss next question. Which of the following statements about Industry 4.0 and IoT in food manufacturing are correct? Industry 4.0 emphasizes automation and digitalization, and it focuses on human creativity and personalized food systems. Then third is IoT monitors food quality throughout the production chain. And fourth is it minimizes the need for predictive maintenance. So anyone who would like to answer this question? Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, Aman. Aman is saying B. Okay. 1 and 3 are the correct answer. Anyone who would like to share his or her opinion on this question? Okay, let's see. So he is correct. 1 and 3 are correct here. So basically, Industry 4.0, it basically emphasizes on the automation and digitalization through the advanced use of the advanced technologies like IoT, robotics, and artificial intelligence to optimize efficiency and connectivity in the manufacturing process. So, Industry 4.0, it basically uses all these automation and digitalization and the connectivity of these devices, and it basically also includes renewable energy also. So it takes all these resources, uh, the new resources, the latest one, and also tries to use these resources efficiently and reduce the waste, food waste as much as possible through better processing and preservation technology. So it basically tries also to go towards sustainable goals and minimizes the carbon footprint of the food factories, and it basically shift towards the biodegradable and recyclable packaging materials also, but it basically have the high initial investment cost, and it basically the legal system of sustainable models, they are not well defined, and adapting to it is also very difficult. So also it doesn't focus on human creativity and personalized food systems. So which is basically in industry 5.0, not in 4.0. So this is correct that industry 4.0 emphasizes about on the automation and the digitalization, but it doesn't focus on the human creativity and personalized food system, because industry 5.0 deals with that, deals with this. So as we discussed that industry 5.0 deals with this is basically it in industry 5.0, humans creativity, sustainability, and advanced technology, they are all integrated, and a more personalized and efficient and sustainable food production system is being created. And the technologies like cobot, which is the collaborative robots where the humans are working with the robots, so it improves basically the overall productivity. So it uses this industry 5.0 uses this concept, and then it also talks about the tailoring of the consumers or the individual preferences or dietary needs and the health condition. Like suppose someone is suffering from the diabetes, so the food supplied to that particular individual should be having the low sugar and other requirement. But whereas if someone is suffering from kidney disease or liver disease, so the food should be supplied to that person based on the particular individual's requirement. So this industry 5.0 talks about this. Also, it talks about the sustainability, that all the production process, it should be sustainable with the highest of the technology and with the good of the humans, best of the humans. And the key feature of Industry 5.0 includes human-centric approach, which means use of both the robots and the human, and food personalization. Second is use of the advanced technologies like AI/ML, blockchain technology, IoT, and real-time monitoring. Then third is that it uses the sustainability and circular economy. It also takes into account of reducing the food waste and uh, energy efficient processes and eco-friendly use of the eco-friendly packaging materials. Then it also includes health and nutrition, which means that plant-based alternatives of meat or other food products should be taken, and precision nutrition, which means individual on the basis of the individual, the nutrition should be provided. Also, the functional foods should be incorporated more, like which is having other additional properties like antioxidant or anti-carcinogenic or like that, anti-diabetic. Then it also includes resilience in supply chain, which means that the supply chain should be decentralized, having this decentralized production process, and the AI should be there for the better tracking of the product and other like also the maintaining the quality and the traceability in the during the supply chain. So I would here we discussed about these two topics, these 2 points which are about Industry 4.0. Now let's discuss about IoT. So we discussed already in detail about IoT in the previous question. So here we'll discuss somewhat like shortly about the IoT here. So IoT basically plays a critical role in monitoring the food quality throughout the production process or the production chain by having the collecting the real-time data like the temperature, humidity, or the contamination level. All the sensors will going to collect the real-time data in the whole production process. And the IoT actually it enables the predictive maintenance rather than it minimizes its needs. So it works with the predictive maintenance that also by monitoring the equipment health, IoT helps prevent failure and reduces downtime. So in IoT, all the sensors they'll take data and also they will continuously check uh, the where is the fall or fail in the production process. So it will correct with the help of like the sensors or the cameras, it will continuously monitor and remove all the defective products. Also, the equipment health is also monitored continuously so that there will not be any failure because of the equipment or the maintenance problem. So it will take all these actions, all these things uh, uh, priorly and take care of all these things. And that's why it is called a predictive maintenance. And it is a predictive maintenance kind of approach because it continuously measure and forecast or predict all the like the for about the production chain also and about all the equipments also. So IoT monitors food quality throughout the production chain, which is correct, and it minimizes the need for the predictive maintenance, which is false because it increases or it works with the predictive maintenance. So here 1 and 3 are correct, 2 and 4 are the wrong option. Okay, let's discuss this question about AI/ML. So we need to tell the application of AI/ML in food manufacturing. So first is decision making through predictive analytics. Second is real-time monitoring of quality. Third is manual labeling of food products. Fourth is enhancing personalized nutrition. Anyone who would like to answer this question? Size, size in the C. Okay, 1, 2, and 4 is the correct answer. Okay, let's see. So yes, it's the correct answer. 1, 2, and 4. So basically, AI/ML enables the predictive analytics, and it basically forecasts the outcomes such as the equipment failure, demand planning, or supply chain disruption. So it is going to support the effective decision making process in the food manufacturing. So basically, this AI/ML is going to take all the data based on from the sensors and monitors continuously, and then it can predict if there is any going to like any glitches will going to come into the system. So it will priorly only it will forecast and take care of that. AI/ML driven systems analyze real time data from all the IoT sensors and the cameras to ensure the quality control and to identify the defects, contaminations, or the variations in product quality. So any deviation from the standard uh, food safety standard, it will be seen and captured with the help of the real time data or the sensors, and that will be or removed from the production line with this AI/ML driven system. So it basically monitors real time about the quality, which is correct, and it is also a predictive analytics, and it based on the forecast or the prediction, it takes decisions. So 1 and 2 all are correct. Then AI/ML, it automates the labeling process also. So there is no manual labeling in the AI/ML. It is basically in the conventional or traditional practices, but AI/ML takes the automated labeling process like the optical recognition method or the pattern matching it uses, and it does. So third option is wrong here. Also, it enables personalized nutrition. So it basically takes the consumer's health data and dietary patterns and preferences, and based on that, the food product will be tailored, and it performs multiple functions. So it is known to reduce the human interface or interference, and hence reducing the error. So it tries to take and optimize the process as much as possible and takes the human intervention less, and so that the errors will be lesser, and it basically tries to maintain the health based on the personalized nutrition. So it enhances personalized nutrition. Option fourth is also correct here. So AI, here we discussed about AI/ML. So AI is artificial intelligence and ML is machine learning here. So AI, it is basically imitating the human thinking process, and it also tries to learn. It is having this learning capability also, and it store the knowledge, and it learns also from the uh, different patterns and the input which we have provided. So basically it is having the machines and also the softwares which is going to perform the task like human intelligence brain, and it takes the decision also, it recognizes the pattern, and it tries to control the process. So in food, it tries to automate the quality checks, and it optimize the recipe and tries to manage the supply chain so that the defects will be minimum. So like the bruising of the fruits, so it can take the picture of the bruised fruit and it can remove that fruit. and if there is any improper sealing of the package, it can detect and remove that also. So here in AI, we are having this machine plus software, which is having the capability to think like a human, and in this having the different subsets. So it includes machine learning, one part, computer vision, and third is the robotics. So robotics means that it involves the automation of any task using the robots. So it integrates AI to allow robot to learn, perform, and do the complex tasks. And in machine learning, it includes basically to learn and improve from the past experiences. And computer vision includes basically to interpret the data and to make the decision. So whatever the data has been collected from image processing, so that will be taken, interpret, and the decision will be made based on the computer vision. So this artificial intelligence includes these three aspects. Okay, so let's discuss now another question. So we just now briefly discussed about what is machine learning. So in machine learning, we have the different types. So column one is having the supervised learning, unsupervised, reinforced, and deep learning. In column two, their functions are given. So we need to match here. Anyone who would like to answer this question? Clustering food categories, then predicting shelf life using regression, then adjusting process parameters, and D is detecting visual defects. Sai Shinde, B. So yes, B is the correct answer here. Machine learning is basically, as we discussed, it is a subset of AI which focused on developing the algorithms that enable system so that it can learn from the data and improve over time like human. So in food processing, this is can be basically used to model this ML machine learning is used to model the and can be trained to predict the shelf life, optimize the production process, and in simulation studies also it can be used. So machine learning, it can be basically supervised method where the model training will be having the labeled data like this, classification will be done, and regression can be done like this. So here the data will be labeled, whereas in unsupervised method the data will be unlabeled data, and it will be in the form of there will be the different clusters of the different data. And next last one is the reinforced learning, in which model basically take action from the environment, then received state update and feedbacks. So here in reinforced learning, so what will happen, the model will take the data from the environment and then the feedback will be given, and after that again it will take the data from the environment, like that the continuous loop will be there. So in supervised learning, as we discussed, it will have the labeled data set. So it learns basically from the input output pairs. So basically, suppose we are having the labeled data set like this, and we can classify or based on basically this can be classified like all the smalls will take or maybe it can based on the size or the base, also based on the color it can classify. So like different colors it can keep the different color fruits together, like green will be kept together or red will be kept together, and this uh, slightly different red of the color of the carrot, it will be kept different. So based on the color it can classify. Also it can classify based on the size. Suppose this size, as we know, it is different than this. So based on the different sizes also it can classify. So it will take a classification method and it will classify the data, the labeled data differently. So like these are kept together. So these data are labeled together. So what will happen based on this, since they are the different data and it has a different shape, size, density, different than others. So these can be based the basis of the classification. So the model learns to associate the input with the correct output and enable it to make accurate prediction on new or unseen data based on patterns it has learned. So whatever the data is there already, okay, this is classified, like suppose I'm classifying based on the color. So the green color will be different, red different, yellow different, orange different. Now if I provide the random fruit to this uh, supervised learning method, so it can classify. Now suppose I am giving this input, so it will take, okay, the color is green, so it must go in this category. So like that it will, whatever is the past data of the input versus the correct output, it will, when we will give some new data, it will classify based on the past data. Then the regression, basically a supervised learning technique is basically used to predict the continuous values such as the shelf life by analyzing factors like storage, conditions, temperatures, and humidity. So it will take these data of temperature, humidity, or the storage condition, and based on that, the regression will try to analyze the shelf life. So this regression is going to be predict the continuous value. Like here, the regression is formed, so it is having different data, so it is formed one kind of continuous line. So we can now predict the unknown from this value. So suppose if I am taking this, suppose time or temperature, so this is the shelf life. Like that we can take. Next is the unsupervised learning method. So here, if we talk about a supervised learning approach, it is basically associated with predicting the shelf life using regression. An unsupervised learning method, it is not having the labeled data, it is having the unlabeled data. So here, it identifies the pattern here. What are the different patterns of the data? Hidden patterns it will take in the data. So then it will form the different clusters based on the output. Suppose it is taking the size. So these size are different, these size are different, and this is different. So it is making these clusters of 1, 2, and 3. So this cluster is basically is a key technique in the unsupervised method, and it will group the similar food items based on the ingredient composition, appearance, or the nutritional content. Like this, it is separating. Unsupervised method basically is regarding clustering the food categories. Then reinforcement learning is basically using the trial and error methods to optimize the decision making by interacting with the environment to maximize the cumulative rewards. So what will happen? Suppose we have this input raw data, it will give to the basically environment based on the interaction with the environment. It will get some data, and if the reward or the if the environment is saying it is correct, then it will take that as an output, or otherwise again it will go to the loop. So in food processing, this RL can dynamically adjust machine parameters such as the temperature and the pressure to maximize the efficiency and quality with minimizing the waste. So like this, it takes the different output and it classifies. So reinforced learning is basically related to this adjusting process parameters. Last is the deep learning. So deep learning is basically also a subset of ML and AI. It basically mimics the working of the human brain to process the data and create the pattern for decision making. So it involves basically the neural networks with multiple layers of deep neural networks. It is going to extract progressively higher level features from the raw input, and these will going to be into the network. So these networks are particularly effective for the complex tasks like image recognition, speech processing, and natural language understanding. So basically it will try to act, it will take the data and create the process uh, so that the decision can be made like a human brain. So this deep learning, it detects visual food defects by the help of the camera and other inputs. This DL, it is having this convolution neural networks, CNNs, which takes the image and try it is expert in analyzing any image. So in food industries, when we have the visual inspections or we need to detect the food defects like the bruises of the fruits or the grains contamination, it can be done using the automated vision system, and the its analysis will be done by CNNs. So there are different deep learning methods like perceptrons, feed forward neural networks, multi-layer perceptrons, then CNNs, and recurrent neural networks. So this is all again a question on deep learning. So here basically this option B is correct. So here is also a question on deep learning. So deep learning is preferred for complex image-based food sorting. Reason is deep learning models, especially CNNs, extract hierarchical features from the images. For that, have many errors and not efficient for sorting of food materials. Okay, so Aman and Sai Sinde, they both are saying C. Yes, you guys are correct. C is the correct answer here. So CNN basically is a class of deep neural networks which are having the specialization in processing the data with a grid-like topology such as the images by applying the convolution layers to the automatically and adaptively learned spatial hierarchies of features from input images. So it basically takes the data in the form of the images and tries to analyze these complex images. So this deep learning basically with CNN is used in analyzing the complex images and do the food sorting. So it analyzes the multi images at multiple levels and then it tries to classify the color, the texture, shape, and defects. So this basically uh, deep learning is preferred for the food sorting. And this CNN, it basically, suppose this is the rice image, so it makes some featured maps from the, uh, then it is going to basically further make some, extract some data like this from different processes, and then finally it will make some output of different rice variety R1, R2, and R3. So it basically he takes the data, extract the data, and then classify the data, and finally it will distribute the data. So advanced food sorting systems, it utilizes the DL with real-time object detection models like this YOLO or CNNs so that it can classify and separate the product with higher precision. So these models are commonly, it is integrated with automated sorting systems in agriculture, grain processing, and packaged food industries to ensure the quality and reduce the wastage. So it basically here DL basically used to process the complex images and CNNs basically also used effectively for food sorting. So assertion is basically true and reason is here given as false. So C is correct here. Okay, let's discuss this question now. The process of reducing the number of features in a data set while retaining essential information is known as clustering, dimensionality reduction, anomaly detection, and classification. Anyone who would like to answer this question? So the answer is B here, dimensionality reduction. So dimensionality reduction is basically here we reduce the number of the variables or the features in a data set and the most important information will be retained. So this technique is commonly used in the machine learning and it identifies or it simplifies the data analysis, improves the model performance and helps in visualizing high dimensional data. Like we have the high PCA curves. So PCA means principal component analysis curves are there, PLSDA curves are there. So these are basically used for partially least PL partially least square data analysis, PLSDA curves, PCA curves. They are basically used as the techniques for plotting or for reducing the dimensionality. So these techniques such as the PCA, linear discriminant analysis LDA, and TSNE transform high dimensional data into a lower dimensional space while preserving essential patterns. So here, suppose we have the different data. So that based on the dimensionality reduction, it will be classified in particular kind of particular clusters, or the classification separation is there, and it will be put into some other kind of information, but the important information will be intact. Suppose here we have different options. In from this, the 3D options will be taken, then 2D, and then 1D. Like that, dimensionality is reduced from like the data. Like suppose 3D data is there, it will be converted into 2D and then 1D. So the dimensionality of the data will be reduced by all these methods. So here B is the correct answer. So we have the now the questions on sensor. So which of the following sensor is critical for detecting the chemical spoilage markers in the like the hydrogen sulfide in meat? Ammonia sensor, amperometric sensors, capacity sensors, and proximity sensor. So sensors we have three kinds: physical, chemical, and biological. So now we are talking about the chemical spoilage markers. Aman and Chaifinde. B answer, amperometric sensors. Okay, let's see. So you guys are correct. So the chemical sensors, they are basically usually for detecting and quantifying the specific chemical compounds like pH, gas composition, and the presence of any contaminants or nutrients. So pH sensor is there, which includes the glass electrode, and the second is ion sensitive field effect transistors are also there. So pH sensor is like this, where we measure the pH, and gas sensors are there, which measures oxygen, carbon dioxide, and ethylene concentration, and sometimes the NH3, which is ammonia's concentration also. So these sensors provide these information. Then we have electrochemical sensors, which are amperometric and conductometric. So it is like this amperometric sensors, they are like this. So and basically sorry, this is amperometric sensors. So here what happens, suppose we have these products. So this is an example basically of a fabrication of disposable amperometric sensors for the determination of nitrite in the food. So it is having from the tea extract, this sensor is basically made, and after that the sample is analyzed. So this is the sensor basically, and this is the product which we are analyzing, and it will give data in this form, I versus T curve it is giving. So it has basically different like Ag nanoparticles, then it has pencil graphites and also P polyphenols. So which will when some kind of the gases will release, or nitrite will come out from these food products, these meat products. So this sensor will activate and it will produce some kind of the current with respect to time. It will be noted, and this is basically the amperometric sensor. So it is basically used for food quality monitoring because they detect the chemical spoilage markers like H2S, and ammonia and some of the volatile compounds, organic compounds. So when the food product is perished, like the meat and the seafoods, it will produce such kind of the compounds, and it will be detected in the amperometric sensors. So these sensors work by measuring the basically the current with respect to time, which is produced during electrochemical oxidation and reduction of specific gases or compounds in the food environment. So there will be some oxidation or reduction in the food environment that will be measured based taken into the form of the current with respect to time. So the presence of the spoilage gases leads to immeasurable change in the current, allowing for the accurate real-time monitoring of food freshness. So that will be given as the time with respect to current. So change in the current will be taken as the whatever the freshness which you can be associated with the freshness of the food product. Then enzyme-based sensors are also there, like glucose and lactate. So this is basically the enzyme-based sensor where the analyte will going to react with the enzyme and some kind of electrochemical signal will be produced. So here glucose and oxygen, they are interacting with the enzyme, and some kind of basically from this electrode signal will be produced and can be noted. Then chemical spoilage detection, it includes ammonia and volatile organic compounds. So this is basically the ammonia sensor, which is based on polydiacetylene zinc oxide nanopellet, which is embedded with PDMS films for the meat spoilage. So basically from 0 hour, the sensor will be there like this, and its color is changing with the storage time from 0 to 36 hours. So when NH3 is exposed, suppose from 0 hour, NH3 amount will be less. When the meat will be spoiled, its amount will increase. So when the amount will increase, the color will be changed to from blue, this blue to red of this particular substance or this particular sensor. Then adulteration detection sensors are there based on the spectrophotometric or chromatographic sensors. Suppose this is a chromatographic or basically GC is there. This is GC system. So basically it is coupled with MS. So GCMS is there to analyze this food samples and to see if there is any adulterant is there or not. So here it is saying that detecting the chemical spoilage markers like hydrogen sulfide in the meat. So it is basically done by the help of amperometric sensors. Okay, next question is about biological sensors. So in column 1, we have different biological sensors like pathogen, biosensor, second is allergen, biosensor, third is toxin, biosensor, and fourth is freshness biosensor, and column 2 is having their functions. We need to match here. Someone is saying C. So C is correct answer here. So as we discussed, sensors are physical, chemical, and biological. So we are discussing here biological sensors. So sensors basically they are going to detect and respond to some kind of physical, chemical, and biological stimuli, and they convert into measurable signals, which is basically help to record them or monitor in the real time and take the data to optimize the process and reduce the waste and try to maintain with the regulatory guidelines. And in this biological sensors, they are basically utilizing the biological recognition elements such as the enzymes or antibodies or DNAs or cell to detect specific analyte. So these sensors, they will convert biological interaction into some kind of signals, and that will going to be monitor the food safety, quality and authenticity. So here biosensors can include, basically it can be enzyme based, pathogen detection, allergen detection, toxin and contaminant detection, freshness and spoilage and smart packaging. So enzyme based sensors, they employ basically the enzyme as recognition system. So what is happening here? Suppose this basically is some surface immobilization surface here. This can be, which is immobilized here on the surface. It can be cell, antibodies or enzyme. So in enzyme based system, it will be enzyme. So the target analyte, it will come and try to attach with this enzyme, and then some kind of signal will be produced. So there will be some change in the pH, light or heat or mass that will be recorded as the signal, and we can understand. So in this, the glucose biosensors are there, which analyze the sugar level in juices and the syrups, and lactose biosensors detect the lactose content in the dairy products. Then pathogen biosensors, they are basically designed to detect the harmful bacteria like Salmonella, E. coli, Listeria in the food product using immunosensors. So basically, this is the immunosensor. So what happens basically? So this is the electrode which is connected to the computer, or it is going to produce some response. Over it is a capture antibody, and then antibody is attached to the antigen, and which is basically attached by the detection antibody, and it is attached with the enzyme, and enzymatic substrate will come attached with this and going to produce some kind of electron in the form of the signal, and the signal will be recorded. And another type of the uh, sensor can be from DNA based sensor, which is going to identify the contamination, which is detect contamination by detecting the pathogen specific DNA sequence. So the pathogen's DNA will be taken and checked in this kind of sensor. So immunosensors also, like in basically in biosensors, any antibodies, DNA or enzymatic reactions will be taken and will be conducted, and the signals will be noted, and it will be basically produced in some kind of signal, and data will be recorded. So here suppose this is an analyte in which there is target is there, target DNA is there, and from this transducer, this ssDNA aptamer will come, suppose. So this will interact with this DNA based analyte, target DNA, and produce some kind of electrochemical signals, and we can note it down. Next is the allergen biosensors. Allergen biosensors, they detect the specific proteins which will going to trigger the allergic reactions, such as gluten, nuts, and lactose. So this is basically aflatoxin, which is not good for the, this is toxin biosensors, and this is basically for the allergen. So these basically in allergen biosensors, allergic proteins, suppose glucose, nuts, or lactose, they will be taken and they will be detected. So suppose, so these biosensors are used in the bakeries, packaged food industries to check if the food product is as per the guidelines or not. So antibody-based biosensors will be taken to analyze the gluten, and aptamer-based sensors will be for milk proteins. Suppose some people has milk allergy, so it will be used in that particular case. So this is basically the aptamer. This is a basically protein. It will come and attach and bind to the specific position, and some kind of antibody HRP conjugate will form and produce a signal. Then toxin biosensors, it identifies harmful chemical contaminants such as the aflatoxin, myotoxin, and heavy metals and pesticides will be detected in this case. So suppose some fungi is there and it is producing some toxic compounds like aflatoxin, or some grains or dairy products, it can also have pesticides. So pesticide sensors can be there. So suppose this kind of system is there. So this is for the aflatoxin uh, detection system. So here basically this is aflatoxin. So it is connected to this system and some kind of the signal is being produced by this system. Like this, there are freshness biosensors. So it detects basically if some volatile organic compounds, it is basically released by the food product. So it will take, suppose amine gas is coming out. So amine gas sensors we can put, and it can find out the amine concentration using optical, electrical, or RFID or gravimetric or sensor arrays. It can, any technique it can take, and it can measure that ammonia gas or the hydrogen sulfide gas, or if there is change in the pH, and it can detect based on that the freshness of the food product. Then in the smart packaging, these days it is connected with some kind of, integrated with some kind of biosensors which basically detect the food condition during storage and transportation. Suppose pH based biosensors are there. So if there is change in the pH, it is going to change the color of the sensor. So if there is ethylene gas is there, so in fruits and vegetables, so that can be detected using this sensor, and the color can be changed of this sensor, and we can understand what is the ripening stage or what is the freshness of that particular food product. So pathogen-based sensor, it is associated with the detection of the salmonella in meat. Then allergen biosensor, it is associated with identifying the gluten in bakery products. Then toxin biosensors is associated with measuring the aflatoxin in nuts, and freshness sensors monitors the spoilage, volatile organic compounds in the basically the meat products or fruits, vegetables products. The next question is about which of the following is not an advantage of modern automated instrumentation in food processing. So options are reducing human error, then increasing the efficiency, then limited data analysis capabilities, and fourth is the ensuring the consistent food product quality. Anyone would like to answer? Not an advantage. Aman, C, you're correct. C is the correct answer. So modern automated instrumentations, they offer several advantages like they reduce the human errors and they increases the efficiency and they ensures more uh, closely related to the food is related to the safety standards and it ensures the consistency in the food product. But these modern automated instruments, they are basically the data, they takes the data and make the decision. So they'll have the a huge data set. So limited data analysis capability is wrong. So these systems, they integrated advanced technology like monitor, control, and optimize the various stages of the food product production, processing, and manufacturing. So they'll have the different sensors, advanced sensors, and AI-driven analytics and IoT connectivity. And they'll in real time, they'll measure the data, take the data, and optimize the process and minimize the variability and improve the overall food safety. And they take the decision-driven data and decisions based on the data, and they do all the analysis. So answer C is wrong here. So suppose the key components in this modern automated instrumentations they include PLCs, SCADA, and robotics and automation. So they have the different electromechanical processes. So they have the different controllers will be there placed. This program logic controllers they will be there, and SCADA's system or the softwares will be there, and which will going to continuously monitor and control all the processes, all the sensors which are kept in the production line, and the robots and the automation systems they are there for continuously handling the production tasks or the hygienically also maintain the production tasks. So these are the components which are included in modern automated instruments. Okay, let's discuss this question now. From among the below given table, choose the one that correctly represents the application of various advanced instrumentation system in food processing. So we have different um, advanced instrumentation like X-ray imaging, HSI, MRI, and micro CT. And there are different objects, foreign objects, for different aspects like chemical composition, structural integrity, 3D visualization, non-destructive techniques. We need to tell which is the correct here of correct application of these instrumentations. Anyone who would like to tell? A, okay. So here B is the correct answer. So basically there are different instrumentation techniques. So there are different traditional systems, modern systems, advanced systems, and emerging systems are there. Right now we are talking about the advanced systems, which includes X-ray imaging, so or all these compounds. So all these instruments. So X-ray imaging, it can basically identify the foreign material like the glass, metals, or the dense plastics that can contaminate the food processed products. And it basically try to analyze the internal structure, that like we take the X-ray. So it similarly takes the X-ray and identifies the internal structures and verify if there is any, like, what, how much is the fill in the product, if the product is completely, the package is completely filled or half filled. It can analyze uh, from taking the images. So X-ray is basically identify the foreign objects, structural integrity, and non-destructive testing. Then HIS, hyperspectral imaging, it identifies the chemical composition by analyzing the unique spectral signature of the materials across the various wavelengths. So it basically detects the chemical composition, and no, it is also a non-destructive technique. Whereas this magnetic resonance imaging MRI, it differentiates compounds based on magnetic behavior of the atomic nuclei like hydrogen. So it basically, MRI, it is basically going to analyze also the chemical composition, structural integrity, and it is also a non-destructive testing. Then the CT scan, it distinguishes the chemical variation by detecting the density differences and X-ray attenuations in the material. So micro CT, it basically understands the structural integrity, 3D visualization, and it is also a non-destructive testing. So this X-ray imaging basically, it is evaluating the structural integrity by detecting the cracks, voids, or the density difference in the material. Whereas in MRI, it analyzes the detailed internal structure. So this is the X-ray how we takes, and this is basically the based on the HIS imaging technique, and this is the MRI machine and how it analyzes in detail how much is the voids and how much is the cracks. And this is the micro CT scan of the raw cranberry. So MRI basically detects the internal structural analysis by visualizing the soft tissues or the material distribution using magnetic properties. So here, this is the MRI machine. So here is the, it produces the all the magnetic field, and based on that it identifies the structure. Then micro CT, it offers high resolution 3D imaging to assess fine structural details such as the pores, fractures, and internal defects in the small samples. So this is the micro CT scan. So like this, it is in detail telling all the structural features. Micro CT, it provides 3D visualization by capturing the high resolution cross-sectional images of an object using X-ray, which are reconstructed into a detailed three-dimensional model, enabling precise analysis of the internal structure like the pores, cracks, and the material distribution. So, X-ray imaging is telling about cracks, voids, and density variations. HSI is telling the structural integrity and maintained by telling the chemical composition and structural properties. So here we can see lycopene content it is telling. So more the lycopene content, so this is high amount of lycopene content. So it is red in color, and blue one is less lycopene content. So it tells chemical composition also, HSI. MRI basically telling the internal structure like the soft materials through magnetic resonance, and micro CT is telling 3D visualization of micro scale structural features such as pores and fractures. So here B is the correct answer. Let's discuss now the process controller. So which type of process controller is this? Aman is saying D, which is closed loop controller. So he's correct. It is closed loop controller. So process control system, basically it is an integrated framework that monitors and regulates the production parameters to ensure the safety, quality and efficiency of food product. So this is basically the closed loop control system. So it uses the feedback basically. What suppose we are sending some signal, so input we are sending, it will go into the controller, then heating elements, then suppose this output signal is coming here. So it uses the feedback mechanism to monitor the process output. So it is having this feedback mechanism. That's why it is closed loop control system. So the system continuously compares the output with the desired set points and adjusts its action to minimize any deviation. So it is having this some set points, that is the desired value of the process variable. So based on the set point, we'll try to have the minimum deviation as per our desired set points, and based on the input output, it will try to take the feedback and try to continuously improve its system and try to reach the desired set point. Then there are different sensors here which measure actually what is the process variables. Then controllers are there which compares the set points to the measured value and calculates the necessary corrective actions. So this is the controller and this is sensor where heating elements are there. And actuators are there which execute the adjustment to bring the process back into the set point. So actuators will be there. Sorry, this is the sensor. So actuators will be there which will try to maintain the minimum deviation or which will try to adjust the process and try to bring back the to the set point. So here what is basically happening, there is one set point is there. So the input, sorry, the whatever the output will come, will take and send into the again the controller this and try to adjust or try to get the desired set point based on the different uh, feedback system. Whereas in open loop control, it will work without this feedback system. The controller executes predefined actions based on the present condition without monitoring the output to make any correction. This approach assumes the system will behave as expected under set conditions. So here there this feedback loop is not there in open loop system. So it is consider that whatever, if we are giving some conditions, it will be same, and the output will come without any deviation. But that is not the actual scenario. So here, since it is having this feedback loop, so closed loop system is the correct answer. So in this question, we have which among the following or the given modern control strategies. So these are the different modern control strategies. They uses the predictive model to optimize control actions. Fuzzy logic control, cascade control, feed forward, and model predictive control. Anyone who would like to answer this question? So D is the correct answer. That model predictive control is the correct answer. So process control, in the process control strategies, so in process control systems, we have basically different control strategies. These control strategies, they are the systematic approaches which are designed to regulate the process variables to achieve desired performance and maintain the product quality. So these strategies, they aim to maintain the desired process conditions by addressing the deviations through calculated control or corrective action. So whatever is a deviation in the system, they all this uh, control systems tries to control the deviation and tries to maintain the set point or whatever we want in the system. So these can be traditional control strategies, modern control strategies, and advanced control strategies. So modern includes this, all this given, cascade, feed forward, fuzzy logic, and the advanced control strategies include this model predictive control, adaptive control, and AI integration. So this modern control strategy, this it incorporates basically the sophisticated algorithms and predictive models to improve the system accuracy, adaptability, and efficiency, and it handles multivariable systems, non-linearities, and external disturbances also. So in this, first is the cascade control. So in this, basically, there are different controllers. So multiple controllers are there, which are arranged in some hierarchy to manage a process more effectively. So in this, basically, in the primary, there is a primary controller, which is a master controller, which regulates the main process variables by setting the set point for a secondary controller, which is the slave controller, so which directly controls a related secondary variable. So there will be multiple controllers which will going to monitor the process. So the main controller is master controller, and for the primary variable, and for secondary variable, it is slave controller. So this system or this nested feedback loop, so this is a feedback loop is there, allow the secondary controller to quickly address the disturbance affecting its specific variable, thereby enhancing the overall stability and responsiveness of the primary process. So it is going to, this signal will going to be controlled this by the second controller. The disturbances will be controlled much faster, and overall it will maintain the stability of the process. Then second is feed forward control. So it is basically a proactive control strategy that adjusts process inputs based on measured or anticipated disturbance before they affect the system. So before even affecting the system, they have the inputs which are based on the anticipations. So feed forward controller, it anticipates the impact of disturbance, will take p value, what are the different uh, heat loss or any stress or load change will be there in the process, and it tries to proactively adjust the control action, and it computes the required adjustment based on the set point and the disturbance. And what here happens is this adjusted input signal directly influences the process to maintain the desired output. So this feed forward controller is there, which is based on this D value, which is the disturbances and set point. It will make the this input variable adjusted. It will adjust and the output will be controlled and like come like that. By acting in advance, the controller basically try to minimize the effect of any disturbance before even enter the out, and they can alter the output. This system does not compare the actual output to the set point for correction, and this makes the system proactive rather than reactive. So next is the fuzzy logic control. So fuzzy logic control, it is basically applies like human-like reasoning to handle the uncertainties and non-linearity in the processes without requiring the precision mathematical models. So it is going to basically control the uncertainties like human reasoning. So instead of precise numerical inputs, it uses linguistic variables like low, medium, high to make controlled decisions. It is basically having the input stage, which is fuzzification. So the fuzzy control takes input from the sensor and try to convert into fuzzy values like high, medium, or low. So it will take input, convert it into high, medium, or low, and the rule-based decision-making stage will be there, where a set of rules decide what action we need to take on this particular low, medium, high fuzzy values, and then defuzzification is there. So the output will be converted again into the form of the precise value to control the system. And then is the advanced control strategies. In that there are different models like model predictive control, adaptive, and AI integrated. So in this we're discussing this model predictive control. So it basically uses predictive mathematical models of the process to forecast future behavior and optimize control actions accordingly over a specified time horizon. It optimizes control actions by predicting future process behavior, enhancing the performance and constraint handling. MCP basically works by solving an optimization problem at each control stage to minimize a cost function and adhering to the constraints. So it is widely used in complex systems such as food processing, where multiple variables are there need to be controlled simultaneously with the high precision. So it takes basically the mathematical models also. So in modern control strategies, predictive model to optimize control action is model predictive control. Next is the feed forward control, eliminates errors in real time by comparing actual output to the set point. And reason is Feed forward control uses predictive adjustments to handle disturbances before they affect the system. So we discussed about just now about the feed forward control. So anyone who would like to tell now? Someone see A is false, R is true, which is true. So as we discussed, this is the feedback forward control. So here it is first initially only it is changing the or adjusting the input signal, and based on that output is coming. So feed forward control does not involve comparing the output to the set point. It is basically this comparison is hallmark of feedback control system. Feed forward control anticipates basically the disturbances and take the corrective actions based on the input condition, bypassing the need for output measurement. So this output measurement is in the feedback control system. In feed forward control system, we don't measure, we don't compare this actual output to the set point. So feed forward control uses basically controls the work by analyzing known inputs or disturbances and applying the corrective actions or the measures proactively to maintain the system performance. So this is a capability, this predictive capability, it differentiated from the feedback control. So this is correct. So answer C is correct here. Next is we have different processes, cascade control, feed forward, fuzzy logic and open loop, and we need to match with its function. So we discussed in detail about all these systems. Anyone would like to answer this question? E, Aman, you are correct. We just now discussed about this. So cascade control is used in two or more feedback loops after one another, like there are different multiple controllers in cascade control. So where one loop's output become the set point for another loop, and it is used in situations where fast response to disturbances are required, especially in systems with long time delay or multiple interacting behavior or variables. And in feed forward control, we discussed that we take the disturbance, and based on that we predict and we take the corrective actions proactively instead of waiting for the disturbance to affect the process, and it requires knowledge of disturbance and systems behavior to compensate effectively. Then fuzzy logic control. So this this is fuzzy logic one, this one, where we have different stages and we convert the input as low, medium, high, and then we apply the decision, and then we convert back to the values. So fuzzy logic system is designed to handle systems that are non-linear or where precise mathematical models are difficult to apply, and it uses linguistic rules and degrees of membership like hot, cold, low, medium, high, like that, rather than exact numerical value. In open loop control system, we discussed that the controller operates based solely on input commands without using the feedback to correct the process. This approach is simple, fast, but cannot adapt to the disturbances or changes in the system. So this open loop control, it operates without feedback. Cascade, it is basically using the nest Nested feedback loop, then feed forward anticipates the disturbance proactively, and fuzzy logic handles non-linear process dynamically. Now let's discuss about robots. So the type of robots which are commonly used in food sorting and grading applications. For robots, then AMRs and robotic vision system or palletizing robots. Food sorting and grading application, which type of robot we need? We need robotic vision systems here. Yes, Aman, it's C, robotic vision system. So we have like different robots like automated packing and packaging robots, which basically do the task of filling, sealing, labeling, and palletizing. Then we have food delivery robots, which transport food from the kitchen to the consumer. And then we have palletizing robots, basically which stack and organize product onto the pallets. So robots which in the commercial kitchens are there, which are basically used for the food preparation tasks like chopping, mixing, plating, and meals. This is connected. Yes. Okay, so we have this manufacturing robots, which are basically used for the preparation of the food in the food production tasks. So food in food production systems, we uses this. Then core robots, they are designed for safe human robot collaboration and are not specified for sorting and grading tasks. I think some network issue is there. There's some network issue ongoing right now. Okay, so we have this AR. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so we have the core robots which are designed for safe human robot collaboration and are not specified for sorting and grading operations. So they are core robots are used for multiple tasks, not just the sorting and grading. And then AMRs are basically the self-navigating robots which are used for logistic and material transport. And then cleaning robots are there, which is basically used to clean the equipments and the facilities. And then robotic vision systems are there, so they are basically used for food sorting and grading because they have the cameras, sensors, AI algorithms to inspect, classify, and the sorting of the food products based on their size, shape, color, and quality. So these systems, they are very high speed, real time analysis they do and find out in the large volume. They find out the defective or different size, shape products with precision and consistency. So they are used in food product or the fruits or vegetable sorting. Like this, apple is sorted like this is a conveyor belt kind of system. So here this uh, sensing systems are there. Based on that, the color, size, shape, and surface area they will be detected, and finally they'll be separated based on all these parameters. So robotic vision systems are used for sorting and grading. So which of the following is a major concern in robotic food manufacturing? High adaptability to different food types, risk of microbial contamination, increased labor dependency, or reduced precision in food handling, which is the major concern. Anyone who would like to answer this question? Aman is saying B, risk of microbial contamination. So he's correct. So robotics, they are subjected to stringent hygienic requirement because improper cleaning, if it's there, so can and maintenance of robotic equipment, they can lead to microbial contamination, which can compromise to the food safety. So this is a significant challenge as food processing environment, which involves handling perishable items that are highly susceptible to contamination. So there can be some hotspots may form in the mm, robot itself, or the any equipment, automated equipment can also be there. And high initial cost is another problem. Then complexity of integrations and handling delicate products, maintenance and downtime, and skill gap can also be other problems. These are the different challenges in the industry. So because the shape and the size are of the different products can be different, so we need highly automated robots for doing the task, and high standards of the machine sanitation should be maintained, because there can be hotspots can be formed. So these can be dismantled when cleaning or washing. So machines can be manufactured from the also they can be manufactured from the stainless steel food grade quality, and can be they should be designed so that there will be no microbial traps or water stagnation points. Food grade oils and greases for grease box and lubrication system should also be used. So here, risk of microbial contamination can be a major concern in robotic food manufacturing. Then co-robots, which are collaborative robots, they are designed to work safely alongside humans, other robots, AI systems, or AMRS. This is a very simple question. Anyone who would like to answer this question? Aman is saying A, which is humans, which is correct also. So these collaborative robots or co-robots, they are specifically designed to work safely alongside humans in the shared workspaces, combining human flexibility with robotic precision and efficiency. In traditional systems, So they were confined to the isolated areas for safety reasons. But now the core robots are there with the advanced sensors, so they can be used with the humans. So they have the force limiting technology and AI based algorithms. So there was internet issue, so I was disconnected. Voice is not clear. Yes, so I am again connected. So I'll share my screen. You see everything. Um, okay, so let's just start where we ended. Okay, so we were discussing this. So collaborative robots are the uh, basically core robots. They are specifically designed to work with the human beings. So in the where both humans and the robots they are working. So basically they have different sensors and they have different AI based algorithms. So what they will do, they will analyze if like what are the condition in the real time system or the shared spaces there, and they'll try to maintain the precision with the work, and also they will able to share the space with the humans. Whereas in the traditional robots, what happened? There were the safety issues or the problems will be there with the humans. So uh, in core robots, they basically detect human presence and they also avoid any kind of harm or any kind of collision with the humans. This enables co-robots to assist human in repetitive, uh, labor-intensive or precision tasks and enhancing the productivity while even ensuring the safety. So, co-robots or the collaborative robots, they are designed to work safely alongside the human beings. So next is AI-based vision systems. They enhance the efficiency of food sorting and grading. And reason is AI enable real-time defect detection and classification in food processing. Anyone who would like to answer this question? Aman, A, both are true and R explains A, which is correct. So yes, Aman. So AI systems, they are particularly those which uses the machine learning and deep learning algorithms. So they use both these algorithms and they analyze the food images to classify, grade, and sort the food items with high accuracy. And they are much faster and consistent than the traditional methods. Suppose this is the image provided to the, this is the Maggie or cup noodle image which is provided to the this AI based vision system. So this is correct. It detected this spoon is there. This is okay, but there is no spoon here. So it detected this, that there is no spoon here. So they detect like this, based on the cameras like this. So AI system can process large volume of image data instantly, very fastly. They take all the images and analyze and identify defect, like if there is any size inconsistency, discoloration, or contamination during the process. And real-time capabilities they have, they will ensure this defect and they will remove immediately that product and try to maintain the quality. So AI-based system, they enhances the efficiency of food sorting and grading because defect they identify or detect the defect and classify from the food system. Next is that we have in column 1 different robotic technology like AI integrated robots, then smart sensors, digital twins, and autonomous mobile robots. And in column 2 we have the respective advantages in column 2. So we need to match here. Anyone who would like to match? So when you're saying C here, here its answer is A. So AI enabled robots, they basically are the one which takes the real time data to learn, adapt, and improve their performance. So they can make decisions autonomously and optimize the process and handle complex tasks such as sorting or inspections in the food processing. So they are the one which are going to learn from the real time data. Then smart sensors, they are basically for the detection and monitoring of the critical parameters like temperature, humidity, pressure, and they basically try to gather the real-time data and they play a significant role in maintaining the food safety and quality during the production and the storage. So smart sensors are the one which will going to basically monitor these temperature changes. So what are the sensors? These sensors are going to measure all the temperature, humidity changes, whereas this integrated AI systems with the robots, they'll learn from the real-time data, and then digital twins are the one They are virtually replicas of the physical system, such as food processing lines. So they allow real-time simulation and optimization of the process, enabling efficient troubleshooting and predictive maintenance. So suppose this is the basically twin. This is the basically the digital twin of the mango. Oh, sorry, this is the actual biophysical twin, and this is the digital twin of the mango. So this is going to try to basically uh, make the simulated kind of system in this digital twin. So that will make the replica of this physical system and try to optimize the process based on that. So this digital twin, they are basically simulating food processing lines. This is the example of the smart sensor. In this, fork is there. So what is happening? Based on the color change of based on the pH change, there is color change, and based on that, the detection is there. This is the AI-enabled robots which are trying to mix different compounds to make some recipes. And AMRs, which are autonomous mobile robots, they are used for automatic logistic systems. So they'll these are these AMRs. So in this, there are different pallets or the stack of the different cartons. They are moving in the warehouse, like in the warehouse, transporting the material from one location to another. So they reduce the labor cost and improve the efficiency in supply chain management. So they are the for warehouse logistics. Then match the technology in column 1 like IoT, blockchain, AIML or cobots. So with their application in Industry 4.0, food manufacturing given in column 2, which are tracking supply chain for transparency, real-time monitoring and predictive maintenance. C is decision making through data analysis, and D is assisting humans in repetitive tasks. Okay, Aman is saying A. I'll tell you, Aman, we'll discuss at the end. So A is the correct answer. So IoT involves basically the connecting the devices and sensors across the production line to collect and analyze the real-time data. This enables predictive maintenance, reduce the downtime and monitoring the equipment and food quality throughout the manufacturing process. Then blockchain basically ensures secure and immutable data storage, enabling transparency and traceability in the food supply chain, and it helps track product from farm to fork, ensuring food safety and authenticity. Then AI and ML, they are basically analyzing the large data set to make informed decisions such as optimizing production process, then predicting demand and enhancing the quality control. Then cobots, they are designed to work alongside human, taking over repetitive and physically demanding tasks like packaging, sorting, or assembling, thereby improving the efficiency and reducing the workload. So here IoT is basically related to real-time monitoring and predictive maintenance. Blockchain is related to tracking supply chain for transparency. AI/ML is related to decision making through data analysis, and cobots, they are for assisting humans in repetitive tasks. So Next class, so this was our last question for today's class. Next class, we'll be discussing about concept of circular economy, then grain processing, byproducts and waste utilization, fruits and vegetable processing, industry waste utilization, and fish, meat, poultry processing waste utilization, and dairy industry waste utilization. I'll be uploading uh, the PPTs and the recorded video in this channel. Thank you so much for joining the class. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask now. Okay, so let's see now. Okay,